Thank you, sir. Ready? Call the meeting to order. Any items from the public? Need a motion to approve the agenda.
If there's no changes or modifications, Mr. President, I move we approve the agenda for Thursday, December the 16th.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Any questions or concerns with the purchase order?
All those things for Victory House or wherever they were. Oxford House Cemetery, Oxford House Chloe, Oxford House Julius, Oxford.
They're all halfway houses,
All different?
all different houses, yes, sir. So we have a separate vendor number set up for each one so that we can track it in, and that's all reimbursable. So we track it by vendor number, by location.
Okay.
Any other questions? Mr. Davis, you have one internal budget revision?
Just one small internal budget request from the sheriff for your consideration. Sheriff Harmon's requesting that he be allowed to decrease line 341 supplies and materials by $311. Current unencumbered fund balance is $148,346.39, and create line 217 maintenance of required equipment and place $311 into that account so that he can pay an invoice that's due.
All right, anybody have any concerns on that internal budget revision? A change in status, we have a new hire recommendation received from Tim Zaya, Director of Community Corrections, for the following: Mike McCulley as a case manager with an annual salary of $44,066 effective December 21st, 2021. Patricia Prentice as a peer recovery coach with an annual salary of $37,509 effective January 4th, 2022. A new hire recommendation received from the Honorable Katie Delegati, prosecuting attorney for Cora Kowalski, as a victim advocate with an annual salary of $50,000 effective December 27th, 2021. Letter of retirement received from William King, effective December 31st, 2021, which is from the assessor's office. Any questions or concerns with the change in statuses? We have a minutes for December 2nd, 2021. Everyone was present. Any changes or corrections on those? All right. Moving on to the county council calendars. We will be here next Thursday for our meeting, and then the offices will close at noontime to start the Christmas celebration.
What's the schedule look like?
Next week you have purchase order law, we have bid opening, we've gone back out on the street at the direction of the state auditor's office to try to find someone to do our bid. So we have a bid opening at 10 o'clock, and then you have a joint meeting with the stormwater district that starts at 10:15, and that's the only thing we put on the agenda for next week because we figured that that meeting with stormwater may run long. As far as the 30th goes, right now there's nothing on that. In fact, we won't even have a purchase order that week because Tracy will be on vacation.
So the whole place shuts down when Tracy's not here?
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
True that.
All right.
You got way too much power.
And then the same thing on New Year's Eve. It looks like the office will be closing on at noontime, and we'll be meeting that day as well. Boards and commissions. We have my calendar is all messed up again. We have nothing the remainder of this week, but on the Monday the 20th, we have a 4 p.m. Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority, 4 p.m. Health Board, 6 p.m. Planning Commission, 5:30 Main Street, Martinsburg, 6 p.m. Airport Authority. Tuesday, the 21st, we have 11:30 a.m. Parks and Rec, 5 p.m. Sewer District, 6 p.m. Stormwater. Wednesday, the 22nd, 3 p.m. Senior Services. Any changes or corrections on those?
I think the 4 p.m. health meeting is not existing.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. All right. Good morning, Mr. Hess. You have a little bit of activity for us?
Good morning.
Good
Yeah, I
morning.
do. I just got a couple this week. Personal property, office air, I just got two. And they were for double billing on both of them. They total up to $207.18.
Entertain a motion on the 2 personal property tax exoneration due to office error.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. And you have some real estate tax
I
exoneration?
do. Got two real estate office air corrections. Both of them didn't get the homestead, they removed, so we have to correct for $469.40.
Okay, entertain a motion on the 2 real estate tax exoneration due to office error.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries.
Does it for me?
Thank you, Mr. Hess. Board and meeting reports, Mr. Barnhart.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. As you know, I was out of the country, went to Texas. So, did not have any meeting.
Who took care of your billy goat when you was gone?
Amy Edwards in the health department.
I hope,
She moves into our house and feeds the chickens and the goats.
I hope she took good care of that billy goat. I understand you do, you're kind of partial to it.
Well, last time when she did this, one of the goats died.
Oh, my God.
So,
Just died or she killed it?
no, it was old, it just died. She saved him for me, so I could go dispose of in the parlor.
Ah,
So it was a successful time, nothing died on it.
good. All right, Mr. Delier, top that one.
Well, I'm not gonna top that. I'm definitely not as colorful as Jim over here. Had a roundhouse meeting yesterday, and I'm really getting excited about the progress. You know, there's a lot of things on the table right now. The city approved funding for the HVAC in the building. Obviously, they approved the match funds that we approved. So it's kind of all in the board's court right now to get the ball rolling and make things happen. So I'm kind of excited about the progress. There's some things we've been working on trying to get improve the access to the property. The city also approved to the underpass on Queen Street, the whole renovation of that.
Good.
And that's going to take in Liberty Street, which will kind of make a nice area coming into the roundhouse as well. So a lot of good things happening right there.
Good, good. Mr. Whitaker,
I had no meetings this week.
Mr. Gokenhour.
Yes, sir. Criminal justice meeting yesterday. Of course, every time Tim comes in, we find out how successful and how busy his programs are, and they're cruising right along. And I know that you all are aware of it. It's not too far in the future that we're going to have to be looking at some additional space.
Yeah, no, and we briefly talked to an architect about that, but I don't think they
We've got
took
it
serious.
on the radar for some discussion, early design discussion, but with the other 2 big projects we're going on, that's kind of on the
Right.
back burner.
I'm just saying that, as our growth continues, so do our problems. So, and they are currently working, getting into the schools and doing some, trying to do some work with the kids and families as well. they're in a program right now where they actually will provide transportation for that child to get to the different programs that they need or that are targeted. That's it.
All right. I had a fire board meeting, so they had a couple generators that need to be serviced and brought up some repairs on them. I spoke to them briefly about trying to get them all together, get them all on the same page, get with have a meeting with the association. Started thinking about we have 2 fire departments that has asked for 24/7, 365. And Mr. Browning said that we had letters from all of them, and I told him I didn't recall letters from all of them, only 2, but I heard verbal stuff from the other 2. And I reminded them that was approximately a 3-year turnaround, and it's you got 2 fire halls that's requesting it right now, and they understood that it wasn't going to happen overnight.
Well, that's a 3-year turnaround if the voters want it.
Exactly. But it's a 3-year process, even if it was voted on and approved.
Right.
And then we naturally we're talking about other things in our legislative summit that if we had other funding mechanisms, maybe that wouldn't be something that we'd have to do. So they're also in the process of speccing out some gear there's some gear that needs to be updated, that's out of date, and it looks like the new Baker Heights Fire Department will be finished somewhere towards the end of January, I believe. I think the availability of some of the material, I know the roof material was an issue. But other than that, that's all I have to report on. Other than we had a great legislative summit, I thought it was very good, very active. At least I heard a lot of good response, and hoping for some good results. And just want to applaud our legislators for doing a good job and taking care of the people that they represent here in Berkeley County. So.
How many legislators showed up?
I think it's probably easier to say that Senator Blair couldn't make it, Senator Rucker couldn't make it, and Householder wasn't there. Other than that, everybody else was there, I believe. Darrell Cole was there from the governor's
Delegate
office.
Reed couldn't make it at the last minute.
Who was that?
Delegate Reed.
Delegate Reed.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Ken Reed wasn't there. But anyway, I thought it was pretty good. We'll see how it works out and go from there.
I got a question for Eddie. So you're sitting on the criminal justice board now, and we've, of course, all of us have lived it since it was created. Do you think, and obviously that's something you just recently did, were you aware before becoming a council member of how much and how well they do, or do we need to do a better job of getting that information out to the public?
Well, I personally was aware of what they do because I've been friends with Kevin for a long time, and then early into Tim's venture with us, we had different conversations along the way, but I think that there's a lot of people who have no idea of the services that are available through that program.
Yeah, recently, and the reason I'm asking is recently I've had a couple people tell me that we need to do a better job of getting the word out about what they're doing and how you can get involved in it, because they knew people that needed those services and didn't know those services were available.
There's quite a few ads on the radio.
Yeah,
PSAs,
Matthew and Christian have been working with Tim and the folks over there to do some some like 30-second commercials, video clips, social media things, and I know that's something just recently that they've been working on. So they are working on
Right.
some of that, only because it has been identified that we need to do a better job of getting the word out.
Well, and we've had conversations in a couple of the boards that I'm on about advertising, and you know, unfortunately, the Facebook is what they're telling me is just for older people now, that the younger people most of them don't even use Facebook at all. And maybe that's, you know, and I don't know the other media sources that they're using, or am I involved in those media sources? But apparently, you know, the Twitter and I don't know what the other one, you know. TikTok, there you go. He's a TikTok kind of guy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but like I say, I've heard the same thing.
Well, it's like the quick response team has an ad on WRNR. I'm not a media specialist, and don't plan to be, but I don't know that they're reaching that particular market with that ad.
Right.
Typically, people are either political junkies or whoever that listen to WRNR. But
I think Billboard's gonna be about the best one to get it on a local eye.
and just the word of mouth. I mean, they have ways of communicating. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but there's a network of communication, and you know, I think a lot of folks who need it are aware of it, but they're just not ready to take that step to get that help.
Well, something as simple as the relocation recovery resources from this building to 800 M and Roush Drive. Tim and I have been having discussions for the past month where the number of walk-ins that they're getting down there has declined. And we're not sure, I mean, it's what, 2 blocks away. So this afternoon from 3 to 6, and I think the council's all got notice that there is an open house down there. Staff is completely moved in. So we're doing an open house for everybody to come in and see the resources and learn what's available and things like that. In an effort to try to get the word out a little bit better. So if the council members have a few minutes, we could stop down and see staff. I know they're very proud of the facility, their new offices.
Yeah. Okay. Just reminded me to look at my calendar today. All right, Mr. Davis, you want to take care of a couple of your issues? Or
Just,
not
yeah, a couple,
issues, but
couple things for the council to consider. The first is state budget revision, number 7. It's a fairly small one this week. Just a couple things of note. We did receive 24 checks in ACHs since the last one in November. Totals $170,322. We had 21 checks totaling $41,600 for IT services rendered. We continue to bill for hazmat responses on the particularly on the interstate. We did receive a check in the amount of $12,500 for an incident that occurred on 10/29/2021. And then we received 11 checks in ACHs totaling $116,709 from various reimbursements and grant payments for the DRC, recommending that the $41,608 be placed back in supplies and materials for information technology. $116,709 be placed in your contingency account, and the $12,500 hazmat payment be placed in supplies and materials for emergency services to replenish the hazmat unit.
all right. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Davis on state budget revision number 7? Entertain a motion to approve state budget revision number 7, Fund 001.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. You have, all next item is a policy IC-17, mobile food vendors on county property.
Yes, sir. For your consideration is internal control policy 17. As you're probably aware, within the past 3 or 4 months, we have a veteran-owned hot dog trailer that has been operating periodically out of the parking lot of 510, 520 South Raleigh Street. Not every day, maybe not even every week. It's kind of hit and miss. Gentleman pulls up there in his pickup truck or his SUV with a hot dog trailer. I've seen as many as 8 or 10 people waiting in line. A lot of folks from the judicial center and the sheriff's department. Really no designated spot. My concern has been many times he's parked kind of right in the middle of the parking lot, and with traffic in and out of the sheriff's department and the day report center, I think there would be a better location for that particular food vendor.
So nobody's talked to the guy?
I have not. We recently received a request from H.D. Boyd, owner of, it's called FYB LLC, which is Fed Up Food Truck. Mr. Boyd would also like to operate his food truck at 510, 520 South Raleigh Street. And with the recent success of the food truck gatherings in downtown Martinsburg, not only in early fall, but also as the most recent Christmas celebration, I can see more and more of these requests coming to us.
Yeah, I think it's cyclical. Wasn't cycles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, I've put together for your consideration a draft of a mobile food vendor on county property statement. It essentially says that we would designate parking spots, and food truck vendors would be assigned to a particular parking area. It provides the definition of a food vendor and mobile food vehicle. It also requires that they would submit a written request to the county council, which would be part of your agenda for your consideration. That they must have a non-transferable permit to operate from the Morgan Berkeley County Board of Health, and that they certainly would be subject to inspections by the Board of Health employees, that they must possess at least $1 million per occurrence, $2 million aggregate in general liability insurance, and the county council must be named as an additional insured. The hours of operation would be Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. unless specifically approved by the council. It is not a permanent place to park a food vendor vehicle that would be removed daily from the assigned spot. There would be no overnight parking. They would not provide tables or chairs. We certainly don't want dining areas established in the middle of the parking lot. They cannot sell alcohol or tobacco products while on county property. They would adhere to all policy and directives provided by the council. They would have to clean up any waste, recyclables, or compostable products resulting from their presence and located within 100 feet of their designated parking spot at the end of the day.
Do you want to put a limit on the commission, like an annual thing? Or?
I did not include that in the
That's going to
policies.
end up being still a separate agreement.
Right.
Yeah, because one of the things is that anything else you want? I think the designated parking needs to say the county council. It just says county on pertinent definitions. And then I think it also needs to say that the county council has the right to terminate the agreement within 30 days. Because I guess it's gonna be an agreement somewhere along the line that
Yeah, we would
gonna
have,
give them so many.
I did have Anthony look over the policies as well as the health department, so.
Okay. Well, are you thinking more of an agreement, an annual agreement or a 6-month agreement, or what are we thinking?
What do you think, Anthony?
Well, I mean, I don't see it as a contract where they have a right to come in for the entire 6 months. It's not working out. I mean, it's more just a permit. So,
Well, the only thing that I would like to think is that I don't think that we want to limit who can be there. And if you put a time frame on it, then at least you can have a rotation of people.
6
To
months?
me,
yeah.
I hate to think that, we're only gonna let one person use it. We wanna, and plus, we talked about, so many days per week and which one wants to be there on a certain day.
Well, and I was also thinking, and it's not part of the policy, but the most, probably the most accessible area would be the parking lot of 510 South Raleigh Street, and actually place them
Up against the grass
up
area.
against the grassy area there by South Raleigh Street. I don't know how many spots would be available, but
Well, I think there'd be quite a few spots available if we start enforcing that the vehicles from Raleigh Street's gonna be towed off the property.
Right.
'Cause there's a lot of people who use those.
So we could designate those spots, and then we could say that permission is renewed every 6 months.
Yeah, I like his idea though with a permit, a 6-month permit or something,
Right.
because permit, you could revoke it just today. You don't have to say 30 days. You can say, you know what, not working out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
We'll tweak this and bring it back to you.
Okay, we have some RFPs.
Yes, sir, a couple bid openings for your consideration. Let's see what the first one is.
Communication training is the first one.
Yeah, if you remember, several months ago, Tracy Gilliam was before you with a fairly large grant that we received from Department of Justice, focusing on our public safety employees, communication, stress reduction, things like that. This is actually the communications portion of it. We've identified the total number of participants not to exceed 133 participants, which includes all of our uniformed law enforcement personnel, emergency management personnel, including all of our 911 dispatchers and firefighters. The consultant is to provide a communication assessment, and it can't be an off-the-shelf canned training. It has to be tailored to our specific needs. They would do a communication assessment profile for each of the uniformed law enforcement personnel and emergency management employees. Would work with county staff in developing a schedule that would make online training available to all uniformed law enforcement emergency personnel. It expected that the content of this presentation will be personalized to uniformed law enforcement and emergency management staff. All training will be no more than 4 hours in duration, and multiple sessions must be offered so that all 3 shifts may attend at the Sheriff's Department, fire and emergency management. There will be 3 4-hour classes to be taught at the Sheriff's Department and 3 4-hour classes to be taught for emergency management personnel. Training to begin no later than March 1st, 2022 and complete at no later than June 30th, 2022. The consultant has to provide 2 professional trainers that are qualified and experienced in this type of training. We did distribute the RFP We placed the legal ad in the Martinsburg Journal. We do have certification of publication on file indicating that the ad ran on December 1st, 2021. The deadline for bids was 4 o'clock p.m. yesterday, and we received one bid prior to the closing.
All right.
Number one.
All right, looks like the Sextant, Sextant, Business Navigation Specialist out of Fort Mill, South Carolina. And the price on that is $25,665. $25,665, and that includes 2 professional trainers for a total of 6 4-hour classes to train 133 employees at a per person rate. Cost includes estimated travel, lodging, access, and communication assessment tool.
This is 100% grant funded. There's no matching funds of it are required. Tracy Gilliam, when she was with Salvation Army, actually went through similar training, and she said it's very, very, very beneficial with our employees.
Okay. The next one, you have a bid opening for ballistic helmets and hearing protection.
Your next bid opening is for 10 sets of 14 sets of ballistic helmets and hearing protection devices. Includes the helmets, the liners, the different covers, as well as the communications headsets. This is for the Sheriff's Department Special Response Team. The RFP was developed by the Sheriff's Department, and we assisted in the distribution. It did appear again in the Martinsburg Journal. We have certification publication on file indicating that the Class 1 legal ad did appear on December 1st, 2021. The deadline for submissions, again, was 4 o'clock p.m. yesterday, and we received 4 bids prior to the deadline.
Might get it opened up.
All right, the first one is, looks like 1042 tactical, and they are Wheeling, West Virginia. And looks like their total price is $56,364.42. $56,364.42. Number 2. Kiesler, Police Supply Inc., Kiesler. And it looks like they're out of Jeffersonville, Indiana. They don't have, doesn't look like they have a lump sum bid. It looks like they have an individual bid. No need to read all those, is it?
No, sir. We'll do a summary page of what provided, and we'll put that in the minutes.
All right, bid number 3. Galis, I guess, Galis LLC, Response, the LLC, I'm sorry. Lexington, Kentucky. What's on the mailing label? Actually, it's Galls, Galls. Total bid of $52,486. $52,486. Let me make sure. Second one didn't have a total somewhere. They do have a total bid, I'm sorry. The second bid is a total of $51,884. $51,884. And bid number 4. On the shipping label, it's AU Inc. out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Arms Unlimited is the name of the company. Arms. Looks like their total price is $43,540. $43,540. That concludes our bid openings. Next on our agenda is Mike Lang, Chief Court Marshal, presentation of the Jim Award, going the extra mile.
Did you skip over board and commission vacancies?
I'm sorry?
Did you skip board and commission vacancies?
Probably. I'll come back to it.
Good morning.
Mike's more important.
Been a while since you've been here.
It has.
Well, as you know, when we took over court martial, we started recognizing our staff for all their efforts. And one of the awards that we do is the Jim Award, going the extra mile. Sorry, I got to put my glasses on.
Hey, you see what we do, right?
Each year, we present a deputy court marshal with the Jim Award. going the extra mile. This year recipient, Deputy Court Marshal Noah Ebersole. Noah, if you come forward, please. Noah Ebersole began his career at Berkeley County of October 15, 2019. Noah is one of those staff members who wears many hats in one week. He can be court security one day, roadside crew one day, and helping community service on another. Noah has assisted with all the COVID vaccination parking details. He helped with the Summit parking detail last week. Deputy Court Marshal Noah Ebersole has the can-do and will-do attitude and work ethic. His regular assignment is on the roadside litter crew, and he takes great pride in a job well done. Noah, please accept this as a token of our appreciation for the job well done. Noah, I asked your wife to be here. She couldn't be here, but you waved at the camera because she's watching on YouTube. So thank you. Thank you.
Just like to thank Mike, Ted, Danny, Art, Eddie's here, Joe back for making me work on Fridays with him. I'm just grateful that Mike gave me a job and appreciate it.
That's good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a good team to be part of.
Noah's another retired corrections officer from the state of Maryland.
Good people attract good people, Mike.
Yep.
We have one more award, if you don't mind. It's the Deputy Court Marshal of the Year. We started this in 2017, and this will be our fourth time of doing this. Nominees are comprised of all Deputy Court Marshals within the Berkeley County Judicial Center. These nominees represent the highest caliber of professionalism from within the Deputy Court Marshal ranks. The nominees are nominated by their co-workers and voted on by their co-workers. I'm extremely proud to announce this year's winner is Eddie Wilson. I am truly blessed to have the outstanding crew of folks that we have. Deputy Marshal Wilson is regularly assigned to Judge Lawrence. Deputy Court Marshal Wilson began his career in Berkeley County October 31st, 2017. Eddie retired from Maryland Division Corrections after 26 years. He served 4 years in the United States Navy. Eddie is a true example of a person who lives by service before self motto. He served his country, state of Maryland, and now Berkeley County. We need more folks in this world like Eddie. Deputy Court Marshal Wilson is truly one of the rocks which the foundation of judicial court security is built upon. He's relied upon each day for his wisdom and guidance. Judge Lawrence, if you would come forward. Eddie. Judge Lawrence in this morning. Thank you, sir.
Officer Wilson, congratulations on your well-deserved award. Thank you. This was to be first among the marshals in the Berkeley County Circuit Court is to say something, because we are blessed with excellent staff, and Eddie brings that level of service and professionalism, and it's so easy to forget because it's simply never a problem. Eddie takes care of it. And it is my great honor and pleasure to have Eddie work in the court. And appreciate the work that Officer Ryan is doing, as well as.
I just want to thank my co-workers back there for nominating me, my boss, Mike, Judge, for having me in support, and thank you guys. So.
Well, Eddie, it's our pleasure to have you. You know, it's we try to find the best leaders, which will give us the best people possible. And I tell you, you're one of the shining stars of Berkeley County, and we're so grateful to have people like yourself work for us. You know, it's been a lot of fun. And Judge, thank you.
I was talking to a lady yesterday who had nothing to do with us, and she was very complimentary of you guys and what you do and your professionalism. I thought that was very well received, and I appreciate it.
Anybody else?
I'd like to say, once again, thank you for what you do. And I will tell you that we have 100% confidence in you all and what you do. And it's obvious, you know, when the judge is here to present you with an award, that it's a very high honor. So congratulations and thank you, what you do every day.
We have the circuit clerk back there. You want to say anything, Virginia? All right. Thank you. We'll take photos here soon. All right. Let's take a break for photos. Remind me, Penny, when we come back to do that. we're back in session as Ms. Schul said. We need to go back to board and commission, appoint any appointments or any activity on boards or commissions. Okay, since there is none, I think we're going to go back to Mr. Davis, letter of intent for Poorhouse Farm, sir.
Yes, sir. You will find in your packet a letter of intent for the sale and purchase of real estate, which is located at 4488 Poorhouse Road. As you can see from the letter of intent, it's approximately 70.4 plus or minus acres. Mostly undeveloped land located to the northwest of Poorhouse Farm. I think there is a small dwelling on there. I'm not sure if it's
There is. There's an
inhabited.
old house.
The LOI, as you can see, gives the council the exclusive rights to purchase the property for a period of 3 years from the date of its execution. The total purchase price, while not in the LOI, shall be determined by calculating the amount of money invested by the sellers, including any associated costs such as closing, title transfer, things like that. While the price is not yet determined, as you again can see from the LOI, it is not expected that the final purchase price of the property will be anywhere near market value. The difference between market value and the selling price would be addressed by the seller through any kind of tax breaks and things like that that they may be entitled to. So it has been signed by the sellers. Your legal department developed the LOI working with the sellers, and it's now before the council for your consideration and action.
Yeah, and it doesn't include any interest or anything of that.
It does not.
All right, entertain a motion to approve the letter of intent for Poorhouse, for the additional property towards Poorhouse Farm one day, which is, I should say, the adjoining property to Poorhouse Farm,
So moved.
Second.
And give the president the authority
to sign.
Yes, sir.
All right, so motion does include that. Second, any further discussion?
So, I do have a question. Do we have with the Parks and Recs any, intention of use of how the development for the park will be?
Not yet, only because we're looking for grants. So at the least, probably expansive trails until a plan would get in place, I would think.
So I had a
I know they were very much interested in it.
Right, so I had a conversation with a fella, 2 weeks ago, and I think I called you after the conversation. His company actually does development of these type of things, and he said that he believes that there's a big need in this area for these, like dirt, and I'm talking pedal bikes, not motorbikes, but
Ones you fall off of,
huh?
the bicycles you fall off of.
Well, yeah, some people do.
Or you knock them down?
Yeah, or some people knock their wives off them. But he does these developments, and he said he would be glad to sit down and have a conversation if there was an interest in looking into that, to be able to do something on that piece of property. So that's why I asked if there's.
Well, I would hope that the strategic plan would shine some light on the additional usage of that.
You mean from Baker?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that-
I
I
know
think
we
that
talked
gets-
about it being part of it.
I think that gets, from what we was told though, if we want to do anything further, the strategic plan was just an overall brushstroke of what needs to be done in Berkeley County. I think that, if I remember correctly, they said that if it gets down to boiling down to Poorhouse Farm or any other park, you would almost have to, that's a whole separate plan. I'm thinking, I might be wrong on
Well,
that.
and then they were also gonna do a master plan,
Okay,
so maybe that's where the
would fall under the master plan. But yeah, we need to check in with that. Eddie, you want to check in with the Parks and Rec and see? I know that Mr. Catta was very much wanting to purchase that piece of property.
And we need the LOI in place so that we can go after some acquisition grants.
Right.
And that's really the more pressing need, is to have this agreement in place so that we can give it, so that I can give it to Tracy Gilliam so that she can work.
Right, and I just thought it was a good opportunity to ask that
Absolutely.
question so that, we're looking at something. If the thought process is, he's willing to get involved and have a conversation and talk a little bit about, from what he's saying, not only do they design this stuff, but they actually help find the funding for it.
Stan Roach said that anybody from the county, anytime to go down there and check out the property, walk in. I was talking to Matt earlier, he might go walk it sometime soon.
Yeah.
Just feel free to get it.
And to go with Councilperson Delegate's remarks, if you look on ESPN, BMX, which is the bicycles, that's considered extreme, one of the extreme sports now, and that's gotten some big time publicity.
Well, and the reason it made sense to me was because we've had conversations about quality of life things and marketing Berkeley County and bringing people here and filling the hotels and motels for events and that type of thing. And that could be something that could do just that.
What is it, Sharanda Park down in Virginia has I think what you're talking about.
They do.
It's pretty neat to ride through there. Help yourself. I rode through them things pulling a weehoo with my 4-year-old grandson in the back of it. Single wheel trailer behind me. My wife falls off.
I'm sure she's learned now to give you distance so you don't run her
Oh
over.
yeah.
It wasn't so bad. I don't think that you actually wrecked her, but it was the fact that you didn't stop to rent her
Oh
in.
no. That was the other time, Eddie. I
Then
did
he
stop
just
on
kept
this
on
one.
going. Then he just kept on going for a couple miles. You mean? Oh no. I
That's
wasn't
the
going to point
thing I
that
heard.
out, but yeah.
Yeah, you kind of learn after the first one, so I got better at the second one. But my grandson, my oldest grandson, did run back towards her so fast that he tripped and fell and knocked the breath completely out of him. He couldn't breathe. We had to shake him and get him started breathing. He was really worried that Daddy hurt herself. But I think she did buy a helmet though. She's getting better.
That's good.
All right, so now you got me all the discussion. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. The last item that you have, Mr. Davis,
Yes,
a
sir.
recommendation for architectural service for 122 Waverly Court.
The final matter for your consideration is the selection of an architectural engineering firm for additions to and renovations to 122 Waverly Court. As you know, the health department has been in that building, which was the old hospice building, for a number of years. And like everything else, as our population grows, so does the demands for their services. We have had some meetings with Bill Kearns, and I think the intent is to put an addition on 122 Waverly Court to the northwest of the property, so that the sanitation side can be on one side of the property in the existing building, and hopefully an addition can be added to house the clinical side of the building. We did request architectural and engineering services proposals. This is funded primarily through the Community Development Block Grant that was received from the governor's office several months ago. We had to put out the request for proposal because there were certain languages that was needed in the RFQ to comply with Fair Housing Act. So that having been said, the deadline for RFQ submission was Thursday, December the 8th. We did run the legal ad. It was published in the Martinsburg Journal. We do have certification publication on file indicating that it was advertised on November 26th. We received 4 packets, ZMM Architects and Engineers, the Thatcher Group, Crabtree Rohrball and Associates, and Outfit Architects and Engineers. After looking at the qualifications, the selection committee would like to recommend that we work with Crabtree Rohrball and Associates. They have been involved in several projects with Berkeley County, most recently with the redesign of 520 South Raleigh Street. They're also working with us on the master plan for the Dunn building. They have been on site and physically inspected 122 Waverly Court. Additionally, the list of projects that they included in their proposal reflects vast experience in the reuse, redesign, and expansions of Health and Human Services buildings. So we feel that their past projects demonstrates that they have the capability of providing innovative, cost-effective approach to the design and expansion of 122 Waverly Court.
Okay, I have a recommendation from the committee for the architectural services for 122 Waverly Court. The request a motion on that behalf.
Motion, we accept the recommendation of the committee to assign Crabtree Rohrball and Associates to 122 Waverly Court.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. All right. I think that concludes our business other than executive session for legal matters. Need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Motion been made, second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Anthony, I see All right, we're out of executive session. No action will be taken. I need a motion to recess, Mr. Barnhart, please.
Well, I would love to do that, and I will do that. Motion to recess.
Okay, we are recessed.